Small preface to this video is not going against any other art style, any particular artist. This is just me addressing a popular stigma that exists in the arts community against realism art and realism artists, which I think is very arrogant, ignorant and completely stupid. I feel that it hasn't been addressed enough, so I'm discussing it here today. So please don't get offended and let's begin. First of all, it's not about opinion. I see people saying that, I don't think realism is art. Don't say anything though, it's just my opinion. Well, if that is your point of view, then I'd like to say you are absolutely wrong. I see people throwing around the statement that realism is not art, probably not realizing the weight and importance of the statement that they're making. So you're basically saying that all the realistic pieces that have been made since realism took form is not art. So you're including Leonardo da Vinci, Vincent van Gogh, Raphael Santi, Michelangelo, all of these great artists. You're saying that they are not artists and what they created is not art. That to me is just completely arrogant and so insane, and I just can't digest it. Speaking of that, how does a person become so arrogant that they think they have the power to determine what is art and what is not? The way I see it is that art is held together by all of these pillars, every pillar being a single art style, and the pillars are formed brick by each artist that does that art style. So if one pillar is removed, the whole system becomes weaker or collapses. If one brick is removed, the pillar becomes weaker. So this whole system coexists with the power of the artists and the different styles that they do. And it's important for each artist, each art style, to appreciate the importance of the other. The first statement that I'd like to go against is that realism is pointless. It has no purpose. You're just depicting what already exists, and it can be done by a photographer. Leonardo da Vinci said that simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. When you want to convey a message or an idea to your viewer, the person who is looking at your art, you can do it in two ways. One is the abstract way, which gives the person food for thought, keeps him thinking about what the artist wanted to convey. That's a very magical thing. I really like that. Or you can do it in the realism way, which conveys the message, the idea, or the thought immediately, because it's the easiest language that a human understands. It's real picture. The process that goes behind achieving the end result, it's not simple. It's a very tedious process. But the message or the idea can be conveyed very efficiently, quickly, and easily. That is the point of realism. To those who say, what's the point of painting or drawing if it looks exactly like the photograph? Where's the creativity? Let me just ask you, what if a photograph was printed on top of the St. Peter's Basilica instead of a painting? Would it be as great and legendary as it is today, the roof and the painting? No, because the painting that was done by hand has its own beauty. It is not like a photograph. There's the own artist's touch in that work, which cannot be obtained from a photograph. Another point that I see being made is that realism artists have no creativity whatsoever. This is a very wrong and ignorant statement to make. When you see an artist doing photorealism or realism, it's not because he has no creativity whatsoever. It's because he wants to improve the technical aspects of his art. So basically art is made of technical part and the creativity part. You have to work on the technical part so that you can apply the creativity effectively. So realism is basically perfecting your technical skills so that when you apply your creativity, it looks good on paper. The third point that I see being made is that all realistic art looks the same. Then what's the point? Where's the identity of the artist? I can simply debunk and disprove that by showing you these artworks by different artists. Do they look the same? No. That's because the technique of each artist is completely different to the other. Each artist has his or her own techniques, and the way he or she depicts a certain subject will be different from the other. So that's what gives the drawing or painting identity. I mean, even my older art looks different from my new art. So I think I made my point clear how stupid the statement realism is not art is. I don't know where it came from, I don't know how it originated. It's kind of sad to see all the bad atmosphere that exists today in the art community just because some of the artists have huge inflated egos, think great of themselves, can't accept any kind of advice or suggestions, and that's not what art stands for. Art used to be a thing that held the society together. It was a binding agent between people. Art used to be the expression of the emotions of the people through the work of these painters. That was something beautiful. I just wish that artists in the art community, no matter what style they do, could just set aside their egos, set aside their greed for followers, and just focus on what art really stands for, which is either the expression of emotion or just creating something that gives you joy and satisfaction. It's not supposed to create this whole negative atmosphere which exists today. That's all I have to say for today. At least try to accept all of the art forms that exist, because each and every one is beautiful and special in its own way. That's all from me. I'll see you in the next video. It's going to be quite special. I'm putting a lot of effort into it. Until then, it's Holmes Draws signing off.